Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the non-vintage Haus Marke Rot from Moric Winery in Burgenland in Austria. This is part of the May 2023 Somm Wine Club box. Now, this is a non-vintage, but it's actually more like a multi-vintage. They have created the Haus Marke Rot as kind of a Solera style blend. So this current bottling is based on the 20 vintage, Solera 20, but it also includes some wine from the 2021 vintage, 2019, 18, 17, 16, 14, and 12. Now, Moric in Burgenland is best known for kind of taking the Austrian red variety of Blaufränkisch to new heights. Started in the early 2000s after kind of breaking away from his family business and starting his own wine journey in the middle Burgenland near the towns of Neckarmarkt and Lutzmannsburg. And Blaufränkisch kind of maybe prior to, ongoing with, to Roland Village, the winemaker's interpretation of this variety, because it is early ripening and late budding, it had always kind of been treated like a warm climate variety. Lots of oak, lots of extraction, big, dense fruit. And he felt that that was the wrong way to look at Blaufränkisch. So he started kind of learning the Burgundy model, the Piedmont model, these more elegant, vibrant, acid-driven, refreshing, crunchy, tangy, tart styles of Blaufränkisch. And he has created those wines, and they are maybe some of the most unique and delicious Austrian reds that I tasted while I was in Austria in 2018. We were at the winery in Roland's house and tasting these wines. Now, interestingly, the Haus Marke is the only one of his reds that's not 100% Blaufränkisch. There is a good chunk of Blaufränkisch in here. In fact, the 12, 14, and 16 vintages components in this blend are all Blaufränkisch. But then there's also Rotburger, which is another Germanic red variety that's a crossing of Trollinger and Riesling. There is Merlot and Pinot Noir as well. And the style of this wine is kind of the house wine, the Haus Marke, the private label. It's the introduction to the style, and it gives you enough of that kind of wild, savory Blaufränkisch character, while also making this wine wildly delicious and really, really easy to drink. It's only 12.5% alcohol, so we're looking at a very glug-glug, very gulpable style kind of red. I took this right out of my cellar, so it's probably sitting at about 13 Celsius right now, which I think is perfect, right about there for what you want to enjoy this wine. So this wine is unfined and unfiltered. So you may notice it's got a little bit of cloudiness to it, especially if the bottle's been shaken around, because there will be some sediment. So if you're going to open it, have it standing up for a few hours before you open it. You can take it out of your wine fridge and just put it on the counter, and then put it into the fridge for 20 minutes or so before you open it to bring it back down to the right temperature. Or if you have a cellar where you can stand the bottles up, that's great, because then you'll let some of that sediment settle out to the bottom, and then you can pour a clear or clearer wine. If you want to decant it off, you can do that too. But the sediment's not going to harm you, so the little bit of cloudiness or anything in the bottle is just a product of not fining or filtering at all. There's a lot of wild fruit. The difference between like smelling like wild blueberries and fresh like market blueberries. They present themselves differently. They have a animalistic quality to them. And some of that is winemaking style. This wine is native yeast, all hand harvested, 100-plus-year-old vines in some case. Very little SO2 or sulfur added during the winemaking process. Very minimal intervention winemaking, and done in a way that everything comes out clean and correct and shows the inherent quality of the fruit, the land, the winemaking, and all of the things that go into making a wine like this that stands out. There is just a little bit of tannin, but the tannin has this kind of spiciness to it. Like it builds in terms of the way the spices feel in your palate, and you think it's going to be like actually like spicy, but it's not. It fades away before it actually gets to that point. But you feel the tannins coming on, and you expect that they're going to be more intense, and then they kind of just gently give themselves up to the grape. There's red and black and blue and purple fruit. It's cherry and boysenberry and plum and blueberry and blackberry. And that's one of the benefits of blending multiple grape varieties with different characteristics together. Merlot, Pinot, Blaufränkisch, Rotburger. They're all giving something different to this blend. And also using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vintages of wine, you're taking little bits and pieces from each of those vintages, the character, the climate, the harvest dates. They're all going to have a minor impact. And so it's really an incredible challenge to create a complete wine while fractionalizing it and taking little pieces from each vintage. It truly shows like a very, very skillful touch in understanding what each of those wines is going to bring to the table. And speaking of the table, I want to bring this to your table, and you should bring something else to your table too, because while this wine is delicious to drink on its own, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just like cracking this bottle and chilling it down and sitting on a like warm sunny day and enjoying the heck out of it. And because it's so easy to drink, but where this wine is really going to be elevated to another level is with some kind of earthy, savory food. Beetroots, mushrooms, lentils, kind of resinous herbs like rosemary or thyme. Doesn't necessarily need meat. You could do vegetables. You could do anything that's got some umami texture and some kind of underlying earthiness to it. Eggplant, all these things that add kind of just this undertone. The wine will supply the top end. It'll give you the high notes and the crunch and the tang and the zestiness. And then you just bring in kind of the earthy undertone with the food. Doing game, doing things like veal or venison or rabbit or boar, anything that's got a little bit of that kind of wild, gamey spice as well will work really well because it'll highlight those characteristics in the wine at the same time that it provides the earthy undertone. It's been 2 years, and I'm finally able to share one of Roland Velich's wines with everybody in Somm Wine Club. Thank you so much for coming along with me, and I hope you enjoy the Haus Marke Rot from Moric. Enjoy.